Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of Chiefin. I'm your host,
Dale Fowler, along with my partner, Lonnie. Live with you and talk about all the latest, what happened up in that game, break down all the scores and stats.
Let's just see that. Let's hope the Chiefs come back and show that their regular self. The offense has not arrived yet. Let's see if we can get it back rolling. That'll be crazy.
Facts. You know our little defense. Facts. Go Chiefs. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chiefin. I'm your host, Dale Fowler, along with my partner, Lonnie. How you doing today, bro?
Good. Happy. Ready to see what this week episode has entailed for us. So, ready to go.
Right, and we definitely can be joyous right now. We got a lot of good topics to talk about. The Chiefs live to fight another week. So with that win against the Miami Dolphins, we were able to, advance to the divisional round. And guess what? We get to talk about an upcoming game on Sunday once again, excuse me, and hopefully we can continue that on into February. So we definitely have a star-studded lineup tonight. Definitely have a lot to talk about. And here's today's topics. We're going to talk about the game between the Miami Dolphins on last Saturday night, where the Chiefs actually defeated them 26-7. We're going to talk about who stood out on both the offense and the defense. Also, we're going to be discussing the upcoming matchup against the Buffalo Bills in another divisional round matchup, something that is a rematch from a couple years ago as well, too, where it went into overtime and the Chiefs were able to close it out with the Travis Kelce touchdown. And then we're going to talk about the stars from the stripes. One referee who has refed a lot of Kansas City Chiefs games, especially in the Patrick Mahomes era right now. And Mahomes got a great record against him. And Josh Allen and the Bills, they have a history with having a lot of penalties with them as well, too. So we're going to discuss how that actually affects that matchup. Now, also, we're going to talk about our predictions for the game as well, too. Of course, right now, you see our predictions from our producer. So, we're just keeping it alive, trying to, try to have that reverse psychology to actually go ahead and get us a victory this upcoming Sunday. So before we go ahead and actually get into it, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on all social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. We definitely want everyone to, tap in with us, comment, like, and share to get other Chiefs fans involved, and also check out our other content as well, too. So we have a lot of things that's going on, and definitely with this divisional round matchup that's coming up as well, too. We're definitely going to be diving a lot into that this upcoming weekend. So, Lonnie, let's go ahead and kick off this show. So, we dominated the Dolphins. It was a great performance last Saturday night, and really we saw a different offense, and also we saw the same defense that we have seen before as well, too. So, with that victory against them, we were able to advance to the divisional round. Now, with that happening, who stood out on both the offensive side and the defensive side for you in that game?
Yeah. So on that offensive side, the guy that stood out to me the most had to be Patrick Mahomes. Pat hasn't played his best all year, but I feel like he played his best that game against a team where we knew he had to play good. He had to play at a high level. He didn't have his best game in the second half against the Dolphins when we were in Germany. He hasn't played good really all year. And just in certain situations, I feel like he had one of the best games that he had all year at a time that we needed him to have a great game. So I really like what I've seen from Pat, slinging the ball all over the yard, getting to his reads quickly, checking it down when he has to check it down, running when he gets the opportunity. So I think Pat stood out the most just on that side of the ball. I know you probably give it to a different guy there. But yes, I want to say Pat stood out to me the most on that side of the ball. Also the offensive line. I want to take hats off to the offensive line as a whole, not just one player, because they gave Pat a lot of time, which he didn't have later in the season, just because we had injuries to Donovan Smith and things like that. So I feel like they did good offensively with the offensive line, and the quarterback played out of their mind. And then just another person, L'Jarius Sneed, is who I'm going to give my hats off to on that defensive side of the ball. I feel like we should keep doing that until the rest of the league recognizes that this man is a number one corner in the league, probably one of the best corners in the league, if not the best corner in the league, best at his position. So I feel like we need to take him some time to give some respect to L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed is playing absolutely out of his mind. Not only is he playing out of his mind during the regular season, he's upped his game and played out of his mind during the postseason. Beating up Tyreek Hill on that infamous mic'd up that he has with the Chiefs, with stuff that we just love to see out of a corner. This is a guy that was snubbed, and you can tell that he feels that coming into this season. He's upset. He knows, and I want him to continue to wear that on his sleeve. Because he's right now he's doing what he needs to do as far as holding the other team opposing wide receiver, the number one wide receiver, to no yards. So really hats off to L'Jarius Sneed and what he has going on. And he absolutely played out of his mind. McDuffie gave up one play there, and just that whole cornerback room, secondary in general. I feel like they played a hell of a game overall. And I know I'm just not picking specific players, but just speaking of as an overall unit, I feel like they played well overall. But hats off to L'Jarius Sneed specifically and Trey McDuffie.
Offensively, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Rashee Rice. I know you went with Patrick Mahomes, and you know what he did, and like we said before, all he had to do was manage the game and not turn over the ball. And guess what happened? He didn't do that. We put points on the board, let Butker kick some field goals, and we won, and we got away with it. But what I saw from Rashee Rice is just the way he was able to expose some of those coverages that Miami was showing out there, and able to be able to read it as well too. It seemed like him and Pat was definitely connected at the hip and really understood each other in that game. And you can tell that he took something from Travis Kelce as well too. And this is a guy who will be able to expose zone coverages from his time in the league going forward as well. So we saw him get a couple deep balls in previous games. Really didn't see that much in that matchup, but I think they will sneak that in there eventually as well too. And we saw he's able to do it if they're on the same page as well. But at the same time, Justin Watson stepped up in some of those moments as well too. So you know, hats off to him. But I think with Rashee Rice going over 100 yards in that game, in his first playoff game ever, and then it being one of the coldest games in the history in the playoffs, not literally the coldest, but it's in that top 5 category, and that's major. And this is a guy who was dealing with drops early on in the year, even though he was very productive in those matchups, you know, but he still dealt with that at the end of the day. And sometimes when getting hit at the same time of catching, you know, he had that trouble with some drops as well. But in this playoff atmosphere, he was like, nope, none of that. He was very strong. He had strong hands. He was getting open quickly, and he was taking advantage of what they were lacking out there as well too. And at the time, one of their starting corners, Eli Apple, got hurt, so he was able to really go out there and step up and really fill in that role that we thought one of the veterans can do for the team, or some expected number one wide receivers we thought should have been in early on in the season. That didn't happen, but he's the one who actually said, you know what, I'm gonna take that helmet, I'm gonna go ahead and run with it. Now we might say that we're expecting too much from him. At the same time, I don't think at times, because, you know, really, if he would have had those touches early on, we wouldn't really be having this conversation, because we've seen a lot of great guys like Puka over there with the Rams, who he had a 1,500-yard receiving season, and we thought he was going into that playoff matchup as an X factor, right, as a threat. So I don't think it's wrong to feel about that with Rice. So yeah, he definitely stood out for me on the offensive side. Now moving over to the defense, I'm gonna go ahead and show love to Mike Edwards. Since Brian Cook went down and Mike Edwards filling in, he was already getting time out there anyway, especially being a veteran and being a guy who was considered a ball hawk. He was able to fill in that position. And to be honest, I haven't really seen anything different with Brian Cook out. And then at the same time, he's more of a threat of getting interceptions as well too. So I like him being out there. there. And then he also played with an elite defense before in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So just fitting into what Spags is trying to do, it makes sense. And he actually stepped up in that game. And I really can't wait to see what we get from him going down the stretch in this playoff run, because we have a guy coming up this week who is known for throwing a lot of picks and giving up a lot of turnovers. Maybe he can take advantage of that, and maybe he can feed off of what he did in his last game. And then, of course, the entire defense did what they were supposed to do. I think they did as expected. So really, we can't go wrong with who we go there. But I'm gonna just go ahead and give it to someone who really stood out and really filled in a role that can be important in this playoffs as well too. Definitely with a lot of teams being pass heavy and like to really pass the ball a lot, just having somebody with that talent out there is phenomenal. So shout out to Mike Edwards, and also shout out to Rashid Rice on the offensive side. Lonnie, anything else you want to add on to that before we go ahead and jump on to our next topic?
Yeah, just want to say yes. I share that same sentiment. Mike Edwards has been playing out of his mind since he's looking over for Brian Cook. Just showing that ball hawking ability. I was absolutely being the same person who he was scouted and described to be. So I'm here for it. I love it. Keep going, Mike.
All right. All right. Next up on the slate, round two, and this is going to be the first road game for Patrick Mahomes in his playoff era and in his Mahomes era with the Kansas City Chiefs. Since the Chiefs were offsides that last game when we played against them, and it was called back and where we weren't able to score a touchdown or even push it to overtime to take advantage of that. Now we're on the road and have to go out to Buffalo, very snowy environment. They're dealing with a lot of shoveling issues as well too, trying to get people out there, and it could be rough. However, this is a team who is used to this type of weather as well too, because they experienced that in Kansas City. But Lonnie, what are your keys to victory in this rematch from Week 14?
Yeah, so mine is don't shoot yourself in the foot. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. Offensively, starting with the offense, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't turn the ball over. Continue to understand that you're a different offense. You're going to run the ball. You're going to may have to rely on some play action. Depending on how the wind is there. The wind can sometimes be outrageous in Buffalo. I know we threw the ball in the wind here in Kansas City, but the wind in Buffalo, when you're close to Niagara Falls in Buffalo, New York, gets a little different when you're right there off of that water. So I just want to say that we may not be able to do that. So we may be on a run heavy game plan, which has been perfectly fine with us because we know we are the new Chiefs who like to run the ball, which we have no problem with. We love if you get a heavy dose of Isaiah Pacheco. So don't get in your own way offensively and defensively. Get him on the ground. You have figured every other quarterback out in this league so much so far, Steve Spagnuolo, when it comes to you. But Josh Allen has found a way to have your number. And now it hasn't been so much in the postseason, but it has been in the regular season. In the years that he had your number in the regular season, he didn't get an opportunity to see you in the postseason. This time he has gotten the opportunity to see you. So I say continue to be who you guys been all year, but you have to get him on the ground. You're going to have to get there with 4, and you're going to have to find a way to get him down. Even if you're sending extras. And when you send an extra guy, don't miss, because if you miss, he's going to be 60 yards to the house like he was this weekend. So you have to get him on the ground defensively, whether that be Trip McDuffie, whether that be Justin Watson, Justin Reid, whoever it is. And when you hit him hard. Let him know. I feel like Josh Allen runs like that and lumbers around the field the way he does because he hasn't been banged down. And even when he does get banged down, that's just motivation for his team getting back up and flexing. So hit him when you get there, get the chance, hit him hard, take him to the ground, and try and create turnovers. That's the only way that you kind of win this game. Or other than that, we're going to be in the shootout. So I feel like stay out of your own way offensively, and defensively get him on the ground. You find a way to get him on the ground. I don't care if it's an accidental trip like it was last time, Chris Jones. We have to find a way to get this man on the ground. The Chiefs find some way to let Josh Allen escape out of sacks. And that murdered us in that game against Joe Burrow in the AFC Championship. It's nightmares for us. So him hurdling over guys, we just kind of tired of seeing that. So I just feel like I share the same sentiment as Chiefs Nation right now. We got to find a way to get Josh on the ground and create havoc in that backfield because he will give you the ball as he has done all year. So.
Well, if you like you just said right there, that's the same story every time our defense really give up big games to opposing offenses. We get back there, but we're not able to just bring that opposing quarterback down. They're able to escape and then make a big play downfield. Now, I do think we have the corners this year to where they playing at a level to the point to when you get out the pocket, you're still waiting for somebody to get open. You try to make that play, and then it can really turn, left for them at that moment. But I do like that what you said. We have to bring him down. When you get your hands on him, you have to be able to maul him. And every time I say that, I feel like they end up listening and doing it as well too, because we had those discussions before, especially with Chris Jones. At those moments that you're coming off the edge, don't give him the opportunity to be able to break the tackle, or you're reaching for him and he's able to strong arm himself out of that, move forward, and then just look downfield and make a play. I think you have to really just hover over him, especially when it's coming from his blind side as well too. You have to tower him. You have to put a body on him, because at that moment, if he tries to do anything, you have every right to be like, "Oh no, 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 sir, you're going down with me." And then he's gonna have to make the smart decision of, let me not try to do too much because I can cause injury as well. And the ref sees that he's over me. I'm trying to make the effort to get out of it. I'm at this point trying to escape and becoming a runner. He got to me, and he won fair and square. So in those moments, you just have to be able to corral and be able to not let him escape from the pocket. Now, what we saw in the last game in week 14, we saw that amazing throw on the sideline. He didn't go out of bounds, end up being a catch that it fumbled out of bounds. We could have got it back, but it was phenomenal what happened. I got to give his credit for that. Like, that was lovely. In this game, though, in this time of the year, and how the both defenses been playing great as well, regardless of the injury. They've been able to make plays, but our defense as well too hasn't given up any points that much. We are the uh second lowest scoring point per game defense. Excuse me, let me say that again. We have allowed the lowest points in the entire season. We're second in that. So you see that defensively, we're able to go out there and really make plays and really get them off the field. This time in this environment, right now in the playoffs, Josh Allen's try to do that, especially against a team that you haven't had that much success against in the playoffs. We are somewhat considered the new New England. Just being honest, you can't depend on that again. Just being truthful, you can't depend on that again. Now, he's going to be able to do some great things with his legs, but I think Spags and the entire defense is looking at it like, hold on, we're going to make some plays. We're going to turn over the ball this time. We're going to win that turnover differential battle, and that's what they're going to have to do. And they was able to do that last week, and I think they can do it again. Offensively, we've been saying the same thing. I'm gonna say the same thing from last week. Pat, calm down, bro. Your defense got it if you need it. Just get it out of bounds. Do what you can with your feet. Get upfield. Let's put ourselves in field goal position. But when we're on the goal line, score the ball. Score the ball. Score a touchdown. Keep on stepping on them. Keep on going out there and just having that cohesiveness and not making any mistakes. Don't give them any firepower or fuel to, feed off of, especially with them being at home. This is your time to take advantage and prove to the doubters that you can go on the road and win a playoff game. You don't have to be a hero this time. We know that you like to come up with those big moments. But right now, some of the guys in that wide receiver room, they have been a disappointment in a way. Now, when they're open, I'm not saying go to them. Definitely still attack them. But when you know you're being corralled, you're being pressured, it's a chance that you can have a turnover, just trying to make a play downfield. Make that play out of bounds. Little fight another down, because you can come back and regroup. And since they haven't really gotten you on your heels, and you're not panicking, it's going to really make that opposing defense mad. Feed Pacheco, run the ball, let him average around 4 to 5 yards a carry. Get it to Rashid quick. Shoot, get it to McCole and Tony and all those other guys quick if you need to on the screen, to where we can open up the offense and then we can do something downfield. But what's important is no knucklehead mistakes. no penalties or turnovers. If you can play a clean game, I think you can win because I think our defense can do enough to get us over the hump, to get us to the next round. We got that type of defense this year, and it's okay to take advantage of it. Anything you want to go ahead and add on to that before we go ahead and move
Like
on
you
to our next
said,
topic?
man, this like you said, we gotta get him on the ground. Like you said, our defense is enough to get us over the hump. You don't got to put on your Superman cape, Mahomes. Be surgical with this one. Be
Right.
strategic with it. Be cerebral. Make good decisions. And be smart. Live for later in this game. Don't just live for the moment because this is not the regular season. We can cost some people their jobs with this loss. So um, let's go ahead and figure out a way to crack the code and embarrass Josh Allen like he has done us like these past couple of years. Let's just be honest.
All right. Well, before we go ahead and go into our next topic, make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, and also TikTok and Twitch as well too. Tap in with us, show us some love. We also put our podcast on Spotify as well too if you want to listen to the audio version of it, and then also check out our other shows that went out this week as well too. We had a Home of the Chiefs breakdown from Clinton, and then also Clinton and Shannon did their Home of the Chiefs pod as well too, where they discussed this upcoming game against the Buffalo Bills, and also talked about the Dolphins game as well too, how cold it was. So definitely go ahead and check out those videos, and then also check out the extra point that will be coming out as well too. We definitely got a lot of things out there for y'all to go ahead and check out, and then come back, comment, really discuss, debate, have those type of discussions together. We definitely want to show love, so really tap in with us. That way we can get this out to everybody. All right. So Lonnie, go ahead and move on to the next topic. Stars from the Stripes. KC draws lead referee Shawn Hochuli, who is 8-2 in those games, and also Mahomes is 8-2 in those games, and he is also 2-0 in divisional rounds with Kansas City Chiefs game on his plate. So Lonnie, will this eventually be a factor uh, going into this game and also the outcome for it as well too with Chiefs refs talk? Because every time something goes our way, it's always a main story out there on X or Facebook or any of those platforms. So how you feel about that?
Uh, and I kind of hate the fact that we're sitting here and we're talking about a zebra, and by his personal name instead of calling him a referee. But Shawn Hochuli is not that bad of a guy. I don't think he's Carl Sheffers, but I mean, by any means. So I mean, I'll take it. But the fact that we even have to sit here and have this conversation about refs, I feel like it's kind of just like this is crazy that we've gotten to this point. But I don't. I hope it's not a factor, and I hope that Mr. Shawn Hochuli doesn't make himself a part of this game, in the decision and the outcome of the game. Hopefully we see like we've been seeing down the stretch. They've been letting guys play, which I love. Um, through all the contact and everything. So I expect it to still be the same way. These are two physical teams that know each other to the umpteenth power. So I would expect them to be in each other's hip pockets the entire game. So I'm hoping that Mr. Hochuli, we don't see him on TV much, and I'm hoping that he doesn't play a big factor in the outcome of the game, because I don't think anyone in the NFL community has liked the fact that the refs have decided to make their way in deciding games and making calls in crucial moments that are just maybe lackluster or just unaware of the situation or mood of the game at the time or whatever's going on. So I hope he's not. I hope it doesn't play a big factor, but we are yet to see.
Yeah, I think with Mr. Hochuli, I think the game will be called at a better in a better way than probably games that we will see this weekend. This has been a guy who has been doing it for a long time, and his father also was a referee once upon a time as well too for professional sports in the NFL as well too. So I think he has that experience and also the mentors as well too that actually prepare him for those moments. I know it might sound cliche or we're being biased due to the fact that, with the Kansas City Chiefs having a good record with him calling those games. I mean, the losses still show for it as well too. And I understand with us being undefeated with him in the postseason, that's also a coincidence because at the same time, when your group is always efficient and they get the best of the best to actually call these games as well too, they also wanted to be on the most intriguing and most probably watched game that weekend, especially that's going to be televised and for everyone to see. They're going to try to have the best individuals out there to avoid that backlash that can happen the next day. So I don't think it's going to be any issues, especially with Buffalo playing at home as well too. It could possibly be the Chiefs on the other end of this time. That could be a possibility, especially with us not having that home field advantage. So I think we still need to go into this game and in this matchup with the mindset of not letting the rest be the deciding factor of it. That's all that matters. If you're able to outplay the opposing team and keep yourself in position to where you're ahead and not playing from behind, then you're not going to have to rely on the refs making the right call at the right time or them missing a call. If we're able to not shoot ourselves in the foot and just play at a level of professionalism and not, allow those other guys to get us out of our element, then you will be fine in that moment. So Mr. Hochuli and his crew, I think they will be okay. But who needs to watch out the most, honestly, will be the Buffalo Bills, regardless of them being at home, because he has called the most penalties on them as well too. I think they had a total of 300 yards with him, and also around like 47 penalties as well too, totaling that. So that can be something that could go into this matchup and be a problem. But I think it should be fine. At the end of the day, refing and officiating is always going to play a factor into the game, just because people are going to call out stuff from the first quarter that they feel if it should have been a score, it could have been a different result. And anything could happen at any time, and everything has a reaction to it as well too. So just like I even said in my extra point video, and I said, what happened if Pacheco was in the game? And those carries that he had could be a different factor for the Kansas City Chiefs, just because we lost by 3 points as well too. That's saying the same stuff, right? Like that's basically the same thing, but just a different context or a different scenario. Just don't put it in the ref hands. That's all I can say. Don't let the officiating crew be the reason that you lose. It will be a factor. Short and simple. It's gonna come down to something. Now, will you be the guy who let them play where people can't say nothing and so on social media the next day, because people are gonna have proof that it's like, okay, they let them play throughout the entire game. Both sides was very handsy. It's playoff football. They said y'all not gonna blame us. Y'all be the deciding factor. Make those incredible plays. Go out. At that point, I think you can't get mad.
Yeah. If it's not blatant, don't call it.
Yep. If it's not blatant, don't call it. Now, if it's something like it's a crucial hold going down the field, or it's definite contact before and it has affected the catchability for that receiver, make those calls so they
Exactly.
don't complain.
And I feel like me and you both share the same sentiment with that period. We don't mind getting penalties called on us. We just like it if it's consistent. And I feel like that's every coach's gripe. Only fans that don't really know real ball understand that in any sport there's going to be penalties and fouls called. But as long as there's some consistency on both sides with the fouls that are called, people don't mind that. So if it's going to be a penalty game, we let it. And we're going to get um, y'all are illegal contact or holding, we expect that to be called on that other side as well for our guys. So we just want to see some consistency, whatever the call may be, and that's I feel like the biggest thing with just the real sports watchers with the refs.
And McDuffie already said something about that in his press conference as well too, where he said, "I'm gonna be honest with you. When Reid got downfield and he would caught that ball on him, and and he ended up scoring, he said I was going for the penalty. He got the penalty called for him, but he said my whole focus was not to get scored on, let him fight another down, eventually just really giving up a field goal. That's what he wanted it said. So
Yeah,
I okay with that because we talked about it in our conversations as well too. Take the penalty if you got to. Don't let them get a big play, and then that sparked the offense, and then it sparked the defense to go out there and dominate our offense, and we get a turnover. No, no, no. What we're going to do is you can get happy about the penalty, but we're bend don't break. And once you get down there in that field position, we're going to lock everything down from there. We're going to only force a field goal. I will take 3 points instead of 7 any day, and that's what McDuffie said. So,
hmm
anything you want to add on to that before we go ahead and move on to our next video? I mean, our
yeah,
next topic.
yeah. No, I think that's enough said there. Like, we don't want the rest to play a factor. Just do what you've been doing. Stay away. Stay out of the
All
game.
right, all right. Now, on to our last topic of this evening. We got to discuss our predictions for this upcoming matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills. Our producer prediction right here, Clinton, he has the Chiefs losing to the Bills 20-23.
Easily.
Now, we're not upset about it because in his heart, we all know that he wants the Kansas City Chiefs to win. We all
Absolutely.
do. But this has been our coping mechanism to help us get through these moments where we have a lot of uncertainty and don't know what type of Kansas City Chiefs team we're getting. So we put ourselves in position to be prepared for the sadness that may arise. Just being truthful.
Yes.
But what we saw last week is definitely a possibility that this Kansas City Chiefs team can go out and dominate the Bills if they just play solid and just have a good game. Lonnie, what are your predictions for this upcoming game?
Yeah. So my predictions, I got the Chiefs winning 24-27. So I got us winning by 3. We're gonna have to score a lot of points to beat these guys. I'm thinking the Bills have some trouble there at the linebacker. I don't want to put the Chiefs in a loss category, but I definitely understand and feel where Clinton is coming from, our producer. So just trying to prepare yourself mentally. But I do just want to leave this for everybody. Is Mahomes is better on the road than he is at home, and you can check the stats. So this is not something that I think we should so much fear. This is just new for us. This is only a part of his legacy. This is one of the many games he is maybe yet to play on the road. We don't know. We're used to host the AFC championships, but who knows, that may have came to an end. So we love the Arrowhead Invitational. But if you got to go, no matter where it is, if you got to go handle your business, go handle it. I don't care. Like Andy Reid said, if it's in the CVS parking lot, put the ball down. Let's get to it and let's go. So you find a way, and I think Mahomes finds a way here. He continues to sprinkle his magic pixie dust, the Mahomes dust, over the team, and figures a way to get out of the Buffalo with a win. Especially with them having them troubles there at linebacker, I would look for Travis Kelce to find some open windows there, or them just putting a lot of attention there for some other guys to have a big day. So I'm going with the Chiefs 27-24.
All right. I like that score. You giving us 27 points. You just one more point than me. I got the Chiefs winning 26-20. I think what I saw last week, if we continue that, then we'll be fine. And then they did it for consistent weeks as well too. Even though the starters wasn't playing, what we saw from that game, the Chargers game, wasn't great offensively, but it was very very smooth. They were just going through the progressions. You can kind of see that they were able to feed off that win as well too, going into that wild card matchup. So I think we can actually do this again in this divisional round matchup as well too. Like we said before, the Chiefs actually have been great on the road this season. We've been better than what we were at home, and typically we are a better team at home. But being able to see Patrick Mahomes on the road, being able to be on live national TV being the focus of that game of that night as well too. I think he's going to go out and be like, okay, it's time to put on a show. Because at the end of the day, when you're one of the greats, you're going to try to do things that you haven't done before. And when you're playing at this high level, you always think of things that can make your legacy even greater. I think he's thinking about that right now. I don't think he's going to let anybody hold him back as well too. I think it's going to be to the point to where he's going to go to the guys that's going to go out there and make a play. And when he got those guys who have been, not playing as well this season, and they have moments where they probably get open, I might get it to you. But what we're not going to do this time, we're in the playoffs. It's win or go home. I'm stepping up. So you might see somebody that you saw in that Tennessee Titan game in the AFC Championship game where he just went into God mode, fiery run, fired us up, and then it was just on and popping from there. Same guy from the Houston game in the divisional round as well too. Went down 24-0. He woke up from the dead, and then they balled out. Phenomenal. We can see something similar like that as well too. And we know what the Buffalo Bills is coming with. We never play down to them. We always play. We're at the same level, and it's always going to be a showdown. And I'm always going to give them their credit as well too. But I think, as history has shown, in these moments when it comes to big plays and big moments, Mahomes, he's ready for the occasion. He's ready for that moment. He lives for it. And he's able to advance every time against his Buffalo team. So I got them winning 26-20. Anything you want to add on to that before we go ahead and close it out?
Get him to the ground.
Get us to the ground. Get him to the ground.
And if he runs, you hit him.
Yeah. I don't think they scoring more. I really don't think they scoring more than 20. I know what we saw in previous weeks, and it's no disrespect to them. I think both teams they have great defenses, and they know they don't want to come into this matchup letting the opposing offense be the reason why they lost the game. I think both defenses are going to come out being prepared, but the thing is, who's going to win the turnover battle and who's going to capitalize on those turnovers as well too. When you get down 12, are you going to put points on the board? So we'll see how that happens. And even if that happens, but Sunday is on its way. We're only a couple of days away. All right. So make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media, and also like, comment, and share on this bill. Like, comment, and share on this video, and then also make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well too, and click that notification bell. That way you can get all the new content that's coming out on every week. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and talk Chiefs football, you want to go ahead and talk anything in general, you want to come on the page and talk your ish and come in and talk about our takes, go ahead and do that. We'll hop in the comments and go back and forth with y'all as well too, because we like to have fun, and that's what we do right here on Red Kingdom Media on the Chiefin Podcast. You hear me?
Yeah.
For real. All right. But thank y'all for supporting the channel and supporting the podcast. We like to thank everyone for listening. We got this upcoming game coming on Sunday night as well too. And we also will be having our post game. So if you definitely want to come in there and talk your stuff, y'all definitely like to come in there when we lose, come in there when we win. You thought I wasn't gonna say it on the pod? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that. Y'all need to come in on there when we win as well too, so I can come at you. I got a couple guys I can call out right now, but I'm not gonna do that. Come to the pod. Come to the post game. Come do that. But as always, we love all of you. We definitely like talking to you. Have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you at in the world. Talk to you on the next video. And always, go Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion. So please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom